At the beginning of this week's Parsha, we learn about the Ben Soreh Amoreh, the wayward and defiant son. The Torah teaches that if a child fits the description of this wayward son, he does not listen to his father or mother, they chastise him, but he does not heed them, a glutton and a drunkard. His parents bring him before a beis din to pronounce his sins, after which he is stoned to death. Chazal, as sages, teach that the wayward son is not being killed because of his past behavior. Rather, the Torah foresees that a child who shows such a strong propensity towards gluttony and thievery and all these other things will end up being a danger to society. It is for his own good and the good of society at large that he is put to death, so to prevent any future harm. The Gemara says, there has never been a stubborn and rebellious son, and there will never be one in the future, as it's impossible to fulfill all the requirements that must be met in order to apply this halacha. It then asks, well, why then was the passage relating to a stubborn and rebellious son written in the Torah? And it answers, so that you may expound upon new understandings of the Torah and receive reward for your learning. Now this answer is somewhat enigmatic. Are there not plenty of other parts of the Torah that one could also receive reward for expounding upon? If you think of all the parts in the Torah describing the vessels and the garments in the Beis HaMikdash in intricate, if not painstakingly intricate detail, and if you've ever had to learn it with Rashi for a test, and I'm speaking from experience, this is definitely worthy of reward. So why do we need this additional section, which exists only for the purposes of exposition? There are many different explanations given, but I heard a beautiful insight from Rabbi Moshe Wolfson. Let's go back and look at the situation. There is a child who does not listen. He's gluttonous. He's got a whole litany of sins, and he'll end up a no-goodnik, so put him to death now. This is what we predict. This child is beyond hope. Says the Gemara, this has never happened and will never happen. Explains Rabbi Moshe Wolfson, what do we learn from this? That one can never give up hope on any Jew. There will never be a situation that is impossible for someone to do tshuva. There will never be a situation where someone cannot change. And so we need to learn this and receive reward. And I think that we can say the reward itself is imbibing this concept that we should never give up hope. There is no such thing as something or someone being doomed. Not any situation, not any person. And I think it's so important to bear in mind now, both in general with what's going on in the world, but also on an individual level. It's so easy to feel another Elul, another Rosh Hashanah. I've tried so many times to X, Y, or Z, and I fail every time. What's the point? I know I find myself freaking out that it's already a third of the way into Elul. Is it just me, or is this the quickest Elul ever? And then I worry that it'll be over in a flash. But then another voice says, what am I worrying for? What makes me think this year will be different, and this year I will change? But this parsha comes now, in Elul, to remind us that we must never give up hope. Change is always possible. So if you find yourself doubting yourself, remind yourself that there was never and will never be a case where someone cannot change. Have a good Shabbos.